Hello, everybody. My name is Darby Rollins, and welcome to today's session where I normally would say Darby here from the AI author, but today marks day one of our official rebrand to Gen AI University. I've got some big updates and announcements for what the future of Gen AI University has in store over the course of the rest of 2023 and beyond as we continue to carve the path forward in AI integration, adaptation, and growth for businesses, small and large. So welcome in everybody here joining us live today. Just a heads up, it looks like the chat is not going to be working for us to interact back and forth. But if you do have questions throughout this live session, make sure to drop them in the Q&A and let us know where you are tuning in from. Great to see everybody here with us live. And I am joined as well on my panel. I'm not sure if you guys can see them live or not, with Kelly Tenney and our head of growth here at Gen AI University, Rachel Coburn. So with that said, again, would like to welcome all of you guys here today with us. We've got some big updates as to where we're heading here at Gen AI University. So without further ado, I'll just jump right into it, and we'll have plenty of time here to answer your questions and get into things throughout the rest of this call. First and foremost, of course, we got the rebrand coming up. We've been thinking about this long and hard over the past few months, but most importantly, we decided to rebrand from AI Author to Gen AI University for a number of reasons. But first and foremost is that where we're heading in our vision at this company and how we're shaping the future of education and business with AI is that we felt a little bit boxed in by the AI author branding, and where we initially started with book challenges, which is great, and helping people with writing content with AI, we realized that it's so much more than that, especially with the speed of change, just accelerating and getting faster and faster every single week, new AI tools, new information, new advice, new courses, new content, new changes in the world. It's damn near impossible to keep up with all of it all at once. And so with that in mind, one thing that we've really come to realize over the past few months is that so much of it, while the next AI tool is going to come out, and it's going to come and go and things are going to change, one thing that is going to remain the same and consistent throughout all of this is our ability to connect with each other as humans and through community, which is really where the AI author started at the very beginning. But now when we're looking forward, it's so much bigger than books. It's more about mindset and adaptation, and how do you actually integrate and cut through the weeds and noise and figure out what actually works best for you specifically, so you can elevate your human creativity alongside and really work with AI as its co-pilot, but investing in yourself to better yourself every single day as a result of that. And with that in mind, when you look at a book as a project, it's a beast. It's a lot of content. It's a lot of energy to go towards it. Then you realize once the book is done, then it goes on to the marketing, all of the press and everything that comes around the book that's really designed, if you're doing it for business, to grow your business and to grow your platform. And while it was great that we started out with using AI for books and teaching people how to leverage AI for writing their own books, what we've realized is that it's so much, like I said, more than just the one-off project. It's the continuous development. It's up-leveling your skills on a consistent basis. And a book is just one tangible piece of content that you can walk away with and saying that I know what I'm doing. I've established my expertise, my authority on a certain type of subject. But then, you know what, once the book is done, now what? Maybe there's other areas of your business that don't require necessarily just content, but other forms of AI to help you integrate so you can scale and streamline different processes. Maybe you're a leader of an organization and you have a team that wants to get into AI, but it's more on the customer service side of things, or you're a independent salesperson, or you're a real estate brokerage and you're managing teams of agents and brokers around a state, around, the country, around the world. Well, like, how do you integrate AI effectively to streamline and scale your entire organization and effectively integrate it so that you're not just bloating yourself and you're not spending time going in the wrong direction and wasting time and wasting resources, but you're actually focused on the right direction? And so all of these things come to mind that we really need to be investing a lot more into continuous training and development of micro courses, micro content, micro coaching that's really geared and set on certain tracks of education, things that are going to have clear set finish lines in mind, that whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, like you would go to a college that has different levels of different curriculums that you can take. It's going to be different for every person depending on your situation and what you need directly. And so that's where we're going to be heading and kind of following that university model for the generative AI space. So I'm really excited about that. And that's one of the reasons why we partnered with Kelly Tenney and her years of experience in developing curriculums at the college level, is that we can model something that's already working and apply it for our community members so that you can also already know that you're going to a place that has the experience and the support outside of just someone that figured out how to do a 10,000 prompt guidebook on ChatGPT and fire hose you with information to get your hard-earned, $37 low ticket marketing funnel cash grab. That, I mean, let's be real, we've all seen that out there. And the noise is just going to get louder and louder and louder. And so what we're building here as a platform is that place to really be the premier destination for you to come to learn, to grow, and to thrive with a community of like-minded professionals and businesses that are all carving the way forward in the space of generative AI. And so with that, we're going to be sharing more trainings, more content, and more coaching at the beginner to advanced levels for helping you integrate these cutting edge tools as they come out, creating trainings and helping you know whether or not this tool is actually going to work for you. Because again, there's so many tools out there. There's so much noise. How do you know what's going to work for you, when and where? Well, that is what we're going to be bringing and delivering to our members at Gen AI University. And so we're going to be kicking this whole rebrand off next week with an evolved version of our 7-day book challenge by encoding the latest in AI advancements. And a lot of you guys know I've been with Jasper since day one, and just seeing where Jasper's evolved since day one is really going and focusing more on larger enterprise level like markets, because things like ChatGPT and all of these tools it's hard to compete with free, especially with how fast that things are going in this space. But one thing that, just point blank, Jasper is not really as supportive enough from my perspective anyways, and this is my opinion completely, is that they're not as supportive for like the individual creators that are using these tools, or like the smaller teams that are looking for that tool that's going to really evolve with the times in the way that you might see a number of these other tools that are really specifically geared for writing books on. And so one thing we're going to be kind of opening up the hood, so to speak, is some of the more later tools, not just Jasper, but things like Claude. Obviously, we're going to cover ChatGPT, but like Claude is from Anthropic and has been really my go-to AI tool over the past few months. And now in the US and Canada, I believe you're able to access it for free right now. But that's just one of a number of additional tools that we're seeing that are really powerful and really geared specifically towards writing books and leveraging AI. And so again, like, we're evolving with the times. And while Jasper is a great tool for larger marketing teams, especially at like the massive scale of things, it's not necessarily the only tool that you need to have in your tool belt. And that's what I want to articulate and emphasize here when we're coming into how fast the stuff is changing in this space, is that if you get stuck in just one tool and one workflow and you try to always make that work for everything, like, you might just be inefficient in your process, and it might be actually hurting you by just sticking with one or two tools. Or maybe those are the exact right tools that you need to figure out and leverage like more directly with what you are focused on with your business. But honestly, there's no one cookie cutter answer for any of this. And, that's what we're realizing when we're developing different courses and different curriculum tracks, is that while maybe ChatGPT might be really good for getting from 0 to 1, well, maybe there's another series of tools, or it's time to start getting into the more automation side of things where you want to just directly plug into the APIs of Claude or Anthropic, of OpenAI, even Jasper's API, to build your own workflow. Because maybe one of these other tools doesn't have exactly what you need, but now we have the building blocks, so the Legos, as I see them. So now start building our own apps and our own tools and our own workflows that we can streamline our own specific process. And it's never been easier to take that workflow, and now you can turn it into your own app that you can start to sell as its own business. You could turn that into your own business model if you wanted to, or just keep it internally for your own team to use. And so, like, all of the different things that we have at our disposal right now, it really comes back to the whole day one of our 7-day book challenge is still the same. Is what's your why? Like, what are you doing this for? What's the outcome that you're looking to accomplish with a book? But more than just a book, what is the project that you're focused on? Is like, what are the AI tools that I need right now? Like, well, maybe you need to be investing in chatbot support. Maybe it is creating your own custom automations through make.com. Maybe it is just a simple chat interface with ChatGPT to get the job done and analyze some data. But how to think through that process and understand your workflow, and starting with the end in mind first and foremost, still remains the same. And keeping your hand on the steering wheel and being the human that's driving the innovation behind the AI and knowing what levers to pull when and where is ultimately where I see the power really coming from. And where those that are going to continue to succeed and stay ahead in the game are going to know when it's time to adapt and change and make a pivot, or when you just need to mess with the recipe a little bit more. Maybe you just need to tweak a word here or there, try it a few more times, and then make that breakthrough that you've been looking for. And so all of that is what we're going to be covering in our challenge. It's going to be kicking off live on September 7th next week, exclusively for members of our community. So if you're not a member of the Gen AI University programs, then I'd invite you to join. If you are a member, if you've had from when we first launched with Cookbook Plus all the way to our Creator Plus, which we launched several months ago, which is just morphing itself into Gen AI University. If you have an active membership, nothing is going to change. This whole rebrand is, we're going to make it as seamless as possible for our members here. You're just going to be getting more coaching, more recipes, more on-demand trainings, more like micro level content that's really geared down specific tracks to help you ultimately get hands-on and like move faster towards the goal in the right direction. And so we're doing all of this again to enrich our community experience, to bring the best of the best into the community and sharing things that are working right now with weekly group coaching calls, monthly masterminds, and then additional monthly AI trainings from other AI educators and mentors in our community that are learning and are actually taking action, applying what they're doing in the real world. And we're going to be teaching that as well to the community. So lots of great things here to come. And all of these, again, to help you, to empower you to adapt to the constant AI change, to stay innovative, to integrate AI seamlessly, and to drive the results that you want to be getting from these AI technologies. And ultimately, this is what's going to help you find success faster with AI integration and being more fluent with how to work and adapt with these tools, to fuse that with your human ingenuity and your creativity to thrive as we move forward in the age of AI. And with all that said, I'm going to leave some time here throughout this call so we can answer some questions, but I want to show you visually with our expert, Kelly Tenney, who is no stranger to developing world-class programs for colleges and organizations of all sizes, to like legit just demonstrate how are we going to be doing this? What is it going to look like for you? And what can you expect when you're investing in yourself by becoming a member of Gen AI University? Kelly, I'd love for you, if you're able to come off mute and come up to the stage to share a little bit more about what we're talking about here when it comes to these more advanced curriculums and really structured learning paths that are tailored for specific goals from beginner to advanced levels.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's so good to be here. And I couldn't be more excited. I know when talking with Rachel and Darby about their vision and their shift around Gen AI University, I immediately was like, we could totally structure it like a college, like a true university and college. And they were like, yes, that's exactly what we were thinking. And, I think from obviously the education perspective, we all know there's tons of trainings out there around AI. There's people dropping trainings all the time. But when I think about curriculum, right, and the idea around curriculum, what is the difference between a training and actually creating curriculum? Curriculum has, as you're sharing, that bigger picture, right? Like being able to approach mastering AI and learning about AI in a way that is more than just let me get a thing done, and true skill development, true mastery, true understanding, and building upon knowledge versus piecemealing a bunch of trainings together. And I loved your analogy of the Lego, because in my vision, it's either like, okay, we can have a bunch of Legos that we just build these mini things with, or we can have Legos and they can come together to actually create a house or an airplane or a car or whatever it is we're building, right? And so coming at it from the curriculum aspect, I think is going to really set Gen AI University aside. But I also think for everybody that is part of it, you're going to see not only the benefits behind having an organized, strategic, structured curriculum to follow, but also your results are going to be accelerated and your results are going to be that much better. And in a time where I'm seeing tons of things around companies looking for AI, mastery skills, having AI usage become a new soft skill set that people are looking for. From the educational standpoint, you can't develop that skill set from one-off trainings that don't really have a strategy together. So those of you that are in the Creator Plus community or that have been a part of the community in general, that there's a wealth of information already that has been created by Darby and the various challenges and trainings and workshops that he's been putting out. And I think most importantly, recognizing that now we are shifting things into a full strategic approach so that as part of Gen AI University, you're not just finding the prompt to write the email. You are going through a cohesive curriculum to actually master email marketing by using AI. So I would love to share just an example of some of the tracks that you're going to be seeing inside Gen AI University. And the exciting part is recognizing by creating these tracks, I think we're really going to be able to stay on top of what is the latest thing that's happening. And so, this is going to be an ever evolving, continual, always adding curriculum university just because of the nature of AI. But here is an example of one of the tracks that you will find inside Gen AI University. This would be our AI in business starter track. It would be like a 100 level class for those of you that remember back in college, recognizing those different levels kind of determine, the advancement and the type of curriculum that's being taught. And so this would be for somebody who's coming into the university who is like, I want to start using it with best practices, really integrating it into my business. Maybe this is for the person that's been playing around, but has not been using it consistently. And so this track would speak to them. And we have 5 courses that are inside Gen AI University that we are suggesting that they take in this specific order, right? So we get a lot of questions already around, should I watch this before that? And so we're taking all of the guesswork out of that for you by creating these tracks, starting with an AI basics training, moving into setting up your brand voice to ensure that all of the content you're creating sounds like you, is in alignment with your brand right off the bat. Learning how to make generative AI your best brainstorming partner, moving into batch creation for content, specifically social media content and graphics, and then wrapping up this track with auto scripting and really starting to learn how to streamline your workflow so that you can create better content at scale faster. So this would be, these are things that you're going to find within the Gen AI University, and we're already starting to develop what those different tracks are going to be. Whether it's around NFTs, whether it's around, again, email or digital marketing, whether it's around writing a book, but it will be a lot easier for you to move through, to find the curriculum, and most importantly, to take the guesswork out of, which training to watch. Is this training gonna, what do I need to know before going into this training? Because we're approaching it from that educational perspective and recognizing the need for the building of the skills and the structure of how the curriculum is developed. So I'm excited. I know already with all of the content that is in there, I see like a bazillion different tracks for people to take. And I also know that we're going to continually be adding, there's workshops on the calendar, there's Q&A support sessions on the calendar, there's challenges coming on the calendar. And so as the AI tools and the AI world evolves, we'll be able to add new tracks to keep all of you up to date with what's going on in the space. So
Yeah, and if there's again like one thing that we've seen consistently just across the board since Gen AI really started taking off, especially since ChatGPT came into the space, is that the speed of change is just picking up every single day, every single week. And with that, I mean, like we're doing our best to keep up, and it's still like there's so many ways that we could go with it. That a lot of what we've been spending our time on over the past few months, we've been really reevaluating how we want to continue moving forward and what's going to best serve the community. Is going down this path and not trying to totally recreate and start a totally new model. It's like going down that traditional learning, like the university path, like Kelly was just sharing, is like already proven to be extremely effective. And like frankly, like we've said before, is like courses are great, especially like if you're really specifically like, here's the outcome of what I'm looking for right here. But then like Jasper changes its UI and then the course is like not obsolete entirely, but we got to like go and update it and rechange it. And it's just a fact of life right now. And so like, there's not really any like changing that the change is going to continue to happen. It's how do we adapt our community and our trainings to work as best and as seamlessly with that. And one thing, great question, Rick, to point out is the accreditation, which is something that I know we've talked about, Kelly, as well, but that's something I would love to do and move forward with. And I know you can probably speak a little bit more to what that looks like, but right now we don't have like hard dates specifically for that. But like, given what you guys have just heard us share with you, you can expect to see more things that are familiar that you would have seen like a school like Harvard come out with, or like these different events. And maybe maybe we'll have a mascot come out one day that's the Gen AIU creators mascot. It is let's have fun with this, right? Because if we're always so serious all the time, we can like forget that like while all this speed of change is happening, and we just get overwhelmed, and then that kind of like scarcity minds of like, I can't have everything, and it gets frustrating, and then we get overwhelmed, and then it aren't we in business to obviously like, one, we want to like live the life we want and grow business, make an impact, and all of those things. But what is like spending all this time on doing all the things if we can't have a little fun with it as well? And again, I've been saying that since I started my party game SideHustle several years ago, is that like having that fun and mixing it in with business and having a community is been the staple and what has helped make that fun, like at the end of the day. And it ties everything together because of the human connection that we're able to make, which is again why everything comes back to the community. And like why do people like pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to be a part of a university that is going to be a great few years of your life, but then you have that experience with you. You have the connections and the relationships, right? Like what I learned in college is completely like it was like Gen AI wasn't even a thing, right? Like when I was doing classes in college, as pretty much everybody here I think can say the same thing. But those relationships that I made playing baseball in college, the experiences that I had in learning and developing my body, my mindset, and just learning new things shaped who I am today. But that was still a decade ago, and we're going to continue to evolve as humans. And now more than ever, while the technology is going to keep changing, what can we control? How we respond to that change? And so, Kelly, maybe if you can talk a little bit about like what does like maybe just a little bit on the accreditation side, but also what to maybe expect over the next few months, like really on like the coaching front, because we've got some really good stuff on the scheduling side here. And I just want to talk a little bit more about that side of things before and while we keep taking some more questions.
Yeah. So in terms of accreditation, I don't know how many of you know this, but Darby and I just submitted a version of our AI and business course for realtors to the state of Florida to get accredited for 3 CLEs. And so now that we've gone through that process and we know what's involved and what they're looking for in terms of format and information, educational objectives, aligned curriculum, and things like that, I think we're realizing how we can duplicate that process and really go full steam ahead with the idea of accreditation. The thing that I love about this is that, obviously there's a lot of universities Harvard, MIT, things like that, that are coming out with actual programs. But I love that we can create that inside this Gen AI university and really work towards accreditation without us all having to dig up our transcripts and going back to college, right? And so, I'm excited for just the type of access that this educational system that we're creating is going to give to people in removing that barrier of having to be on a college campus or having to apply for a college to be able to get these university level quality type of curriculum. So where accreditation comes into play is interesting. And I think I saw in the comments, Rick, maybe you mentioned this a little bit. A lot of the accreditation on the professional side really often goes by regions. So, first we're going to look at state by state, do we need to look at the accreditation, what that looks like in California? Is California different than Texas and so forth? But there's a lot of professional organizations that will allow us to be accredited so that, as I think Tyrese, it was you mentioned, so that you can say, I am an accredited AI expert in business, or whatever one of our tracks are going to be. So I think we're going to be able to, as the tracks develop, really look at potentially how can we get each track accredited so that as you move through the tracks or the various levels, you'll be able to really be able to utilize that expertise and have that accreditation. And certainly we could do accreditation right inside the Gen AI University, but I think with the caliber of what we're looking at, I really foresee us going outside of the Gen AI University so that Gen AI University in itself is recognized as an accredited educational institution. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in those lines in terms of where we go. And, obviously for all of you inside the university, that's going to be really beneficial for you, not only in your skill set, but also in your ability to run your business and to serve others.
Thank you, Kelly. And yeah, really, really excited about everything that's coming here. And again, just to make, there's a lot of really great things that we've got in mind. And we're not just going to overload you guys with the ideas that we have that don't have any sort of like tangible shape behind them. But what we're sharing with you today has put quite a dent in our sleep calendars over the past few weeks to get all of this stuff ready to rock and roll as we start to roll it out here. And again, we're kicking things off next week with a live 7-day book challenge. Again, we're kind of taking the old one apart and starting with like, okay, how would we approach this process now with all the new tools and resources we have at our disposal? There's a lot of things that are going to remain the same. Like day one, start with your why, laying that foundation, starting with the end in mind. Who are you serving? Like, who's your avatar? You've heard us say, right? Many times in the past in our trainings, right? But getting clear on that, like regardless of what you're working on, is going to remain the same, whether or not you're using AI or otherwise. But a lot of this, and Jill asked a great question, which is kind of defining what auto scripting is, because that has been one of the kind of the cornerstone micro courses that we came out with about a year ago, which is crazy to think that it's been just about a year since we came out with that course in the Scale with AI Summit. Shortly after that, to what we're seeing here today is that it's a mixture of, let's say, a lot of things, but ultimately it's about kind of breaking down your process and your workflow and defining, okay, what are the simple steps that I need to make, let's just say, a recipe happen, right? Well, one, it's understanding your prompts. And then how do we take a string of those prompts and put them together? I call that command stacking. And then once you've got your prompts and your commands stacked, well, then you can go to that automation side of things, which is how we would create recipes, which, again, at the time of this recording, we were just recently exposed to the news that Jasper is offed recipes, for lack of a better word, and is not really supporting recipes in the same way that they were initially when we were just getting started, which, I can understand to some degree, like why the platform and the software is doing that, but it doesn't change how you approach the auto scripting process and the methodology behind it, because you still need to understand what is the prompt, the instruction that you're working with AI to give. If you're unclear on your prompt, your outputs are always going to be off in the direction that you want. But the process of stringing these different prompts together and stacking them as you would stack different commands to the AI doesn't really change. But now you plug one of these recipes that we used to work in Jasper, it would still take you 40 minutes to write. Now with a click of a button with your avatar, your niche, and a primary goal, and you can run the entire recipe in a matter of seconds inside of Claude and get probably a better output, at least in some cases, not every case, right? But like, then the question is, okay, like when do I want to run like a series of commands at once, or when does it make sense to have like a really fine-tuned set of instructions and spending that time? And now we're looking at platforms like make.com, which are making it just like literally available to anybody for free. You don't even need a credit card to sign up for their platform, and you could start to plug in your own OpenAI API that might cost you $20 a month to have access to. And you could start to think through what would I do to make, let's say, the $100 million offer recipe that we kind of started our community off of, and turning Alex Hormozi's book into what would this look like if it was a recipe? Well, now we could go and do that and build it into a workflow and an automation to like be as hands-off as possible. And even Sean Vossler a few weeks ago launched his movable type.ai, where you have a big idea, press a button, and out comes a 150-page, 30,000 word book that you could then go in, massage, add your own stories, and do all the things alike. But boy, we've come a long way than taking the expand sentence prompt in Jasper and pressing Command J a bunch to get a rough draft of a book out over a weekend. And it's exciting to see that just in a year, how much can change. What can we look forward to over the next year? But it's also a bit scary when you think about it. And there's going to be a lot of change. And again, like we've said, the change is going to remain constant. The speed of change is only getting faster. So do you want to be on your own doing this, or do you want to be with a community that's going to be there to support you and help you with guiding you along the way? Well, if you'd like to be a part of a community and getting involved with all of that, then I'd love to invite you to go to genaiuniversity.com and check us out for yourself. Just learn a little bit about more what we've done. We were recently interviewed a reporter at the New York Times to talk about AI with books. We've been, over the past couple of years, featured in a number of publications, but just get an idea of where we're going to be heading and what you get with an initial membership to this program, as well as, again, just answer all your questions, a little bit more, in the weeds, so to speak. I'm not going to get into all of that here right now, but whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and click start now. And while we do have a full annual membership now that we're open and available to, you can start from monthly, quarterly, or biannual, just like you'd be signing up for a semester at college. It's a quarter, you go all in, you're going to get out what you put into this, guys. I can't stress that enough. If you sign up and then you don't show up, you don't participate, you don't do the work, you don't ask questions, then like the results are going to speak for themselves. But if you join the community, you participate, and you're involved, we're going to continue to invest back, again, more and more in those. And you're going to have every opportunity to learn, to grow, and to evolve as we're adapting in this age of AI. And if you have any questions about any of this, if you have a team, if you have an organization, if you want to inquire about having some scholarships for team members to get on board, to learn, to build their own portfolios, to take some of these tracks, because maybe you don't have the time, but someone on your team does, then we're open to that. We're open to scholarships and price breaks when you're talking about teams and as you scale up an organization. So you're also able to just book a quick demo with either myself or a member of our team. And we're happy to spend 10, 15 minutes with you talking through your specific goals and pointing you in the right direction to move the needle forward. But that said, that's all I had today to speak. I think we've talked enough about kind of the vision of where we're going and our excitement behind it. If you feel as excited as we are, especially if you're already part of the community, you can look at this as saying that your membership, it just got leveled up big time, and you got a lot of really exciting things to look forward to. You don't have to do anything different, but if you've been on the fence about this, if you've seen our content before, if what we're saying like vibes with you, like if this is kind of, you get the idea behind what we're doing here, or if you have any questions, go check us out, genaiuniversity.com. Book a call with me or one of our team if you have any questions about would this work for you or your team, if we don't answer that on site. And then if you're ready to rock and roll, you go ahead and select the membership plan that works for you, and we'd love to see you inside of the community. And I think the better word to say for those of you that are already in from Cookbook Plus to Creator Plus is the grandfathered in to this state. Now, if you do want like one-on-one time with, let's just say for myself or Kelly, and you want to book like weekly one-on-one calls, I say, obviously it may not be as obvious, but I want to like emphasize that like that type of like coaching, like we don't do that now anyways with members of the community. So like if you do want additional coaching, that stuff is going to be available, but just due to time constraints and where we're spending our time and focus, like people that are already part of the community are going to get pushed directly to the front of the line for those opportunities. And and as we grow and add more coaches, we're going to have more ability to support and do that thing. But right now, anyone that's got an active membership, you're grandfathered into this. Expect more weekly coaching, monthly masterminds, more micro training is going to be inside of the vault. Biggest thing on your end that you're going to see is some name change and some nomenclature around what we're saying for Gen AI University. But other than that, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything, Rachel or Kelly, before we wrap up here. Brian's got a question. Are the recorded classes or live? It's going to be a combination of both. The one thing we realize is that like just fire hosing people with an hour-long class that doesn't have much structure can actually do more harm than good in a lot of cases. And so a lot of what we're doing with the pre-recorded classes is putting the time behind the scenes on our end to put that micro course out there that's really specific and structured. And when it's ready, we'll announce it inside of the community, and you can just go and do it on demand on your own time, and that's fine. And a lot of the group coaching calls, monthly masterminds, great place to come if you have questions going through some of that training program or want to get some just kind of open floor hot seating that we'll be setting up to just, hop on with us live, ask some questions with the coaches and get your questions answered there.
And Darby, I can just jump in and kind of provide support. So hey, everybody. I am head of growth here at Gen AI University. Some of you know me, some of you don't. But I did want to throw out there, if you guys have any questions, which believe me, if you do, I don't blame you. It's a lot. So I wanted to let you know that if you go to genaiuniversity.com and you scroll down to the very bottom, we have a fact page currently going, and we will be adding on more as time goes on. So if you want to check that out, give it a go. Like I said, again, if you go to actually theauthor.com right now or Gen AI University, scroll down to got questions, get answers, you'll see our fact page. If you specifically have, let's say, a question revolving around your current membership, or if you have, like, let's say, if you even want to partner or any kind of questions whatsoever, you can always reach out to us now at hey@genaiuniversity.com. We originally had it to hey@theaiauthor.com, but now if you guys want to reach out to us, that is where you can do so. So Darby or Kelly, if you can put that in the chat, that'd be great. But if you have any other questions that are not addressed within the fact area below on the homepage or pricing, let us know. You can actually go to contact us on the page, on the website as well. If you have any questions, you can type it out there and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. So if you have anything else, let us know in the Q&A chat.
And I just want to add, all of you that are already going to be part of this community, I would love to hear what kind of tracks you would be interested in, what kinds of courses you would like to see in there as we continue to grow and evolve. Obviously, our first priority is making sure all of you find value in the curriculum, find value within the university. So you can reach out to me. I believe now I'm Kelly at genaiuniversity.com, if I'm not mistaken, but most of you can find me inside the community and things like that. But if you have ideas, if you're looking for things, let me know, because we're, obviously that is going to really help shape the type of curriculum and the type of tracks that we are coming out with.
And Jill asked a question that I think highlights a really great point with like how the structure of the community itself is going to be changing, because there's a lot of content out there and there's stuff that we produced 2 years ago that's still in the community that might not be as relevant today. And that's okay. But a big focus now, since we've gone through the rebrand and restructured kind of like how we're going to be moving forward here, is going to be on the organization of that content, pointing you in the right direction. But also don't forget, as a member of the community, if you have questions, like that's what we're here for. And if you're saying, this is what I'm stuck with, this is what I'm struggling with, I need help, where should I go next? Well, like while we're still working on our searchy bot that will help with like finding specific things inside our transcripts and doing that, we've created most of this content ourselves or have worked with experts and understand where a lot of maybe the nuances of this content can be found too. And so don't hesitate to reach out to us and our team, especially if you've got an active membership on, hey, I'm looking for this type of content. Can you point me in the right direction? Again, the prompt response and like Rachel was saying, just on the contact form, our goal is to get back to everyone inside of 24 hours. Ideally, it's less, especially for people that are already enrolled in the community. And we want to help you move forward as fast as possible and understand that, just that one clip that you want to find, the faster we can get you to that, the faster you can make that progress forward. So yeah, I mean, that support is going to be there, and just expect some changes, not complete overhauls, but just there might be some courses. This course isn't here, or it was here before, but now it's going to be over here, and we'll be updating the community as we make those changes. And as well, if you have like a large team or you have an organization that you want to bring in to the community and want like a custom, like maybe like a workshop tailored specifically to your industry, maybe you have like a law firm, for example. We're talking with some lawyers right now that it might make sense to create a custom law specific for generative AI curriculum, just as we're doing with the real estate stuff with Florida agents. And if you know somebody that you think would be a good fit for this program in this community, or if you know of an organization or a team that would get a lot of value out of this, and you make an introduction to us, then we have a referral program where we reward you for making the introduction and bringing folks into our network so that we can work with them. But all you need to do is introduce them and we'll take care of the rest and pay you out as a referral partner. So if you know people that would be a good fit or worth having the conversation for, then go ahead and reach out to us again at hey@genaiuniversity.com and discuss getting you set up on our partner referral program so that you get paid when we get paid in terms of the coaching and the training and the ongoing support. And that goes all the way down to the individual level, all the way up to the large team and enterprise. So thank you for reminding me about that, Rachel. But, again, as we grow, we really want to, make sure that, as the tide rises, so do all the ships, and giving everyone inside of the community that is already knows the value that we're bringing a way to make wins whenever, we bring in more people and we're growing as a community.
And Darby, if you can just do me a favor, we actually had a question from Omar, and Omar, apologies, I thought I answered this earlier. But Darby, can you kind of give more insight onto the pricing? So let's say if someone's already a member of the AI author community, is this additional or included when it comes to the pricing page? I think we need a little more clarity on that.
Yeah, so if you're already a part of the AI author community and have a paid membership from our Creator Plus or our Cookbook Plus from when we initially launched the community a year and a half ago, you don't have to do anything. The pricing that you have is locked in. Grandfather that in to what you see right now. The only thing that's not going to include, which it doesn't include right now, is that if you want to work like one-on-one with a coach at a level that's like beyond just the group coaching and the on-demand training calls and things of that nature. And so, members, you've got an active membership and you've been with us, up until this point, then you win big, because, that's, part of, what we want to do with moving forward is continue to invest in the growth of the community. And we're not going to cut what we've already, built in terms of our membership and our active, subscribers by taking any of that away. This is like literally just kind of adding on to what you've already done, just under the rebrand of GenAI University. And yes, while the price might be a bit higher for those of you that are coming into the program right now, I promise you it's going to be well worth it if you are in this game for the long play. If you are here to learn and invest in yourself, this is the place to be. And, we're really excited about all the things we've got moving forward with it. And I can tell you the pricing that we have right now is not going to be the same pricing that we have 12 months from now. I promise you that much. I don't know how long the pricing will stay in its current model as it is when you go to the site today. But I tell you, it's not going down at all. And from here, the investment into the program and the community is going to go up as we continue to grow and evolve, and, in general, as a community as a whole. So let me double check a few other questions because we've got about 10 minutes left here.
And just kind of giving everyone a heads up, we're going to be announcing this on our socials. So would love to see your engagement there. And you'll be seeing all of the new rebranding kind of pop up as time goes on. Darby and I have been cranking it out this week and we're really tired, but we're very excited for y'all to see those new socials. And if you're an existing member, by the way, an email should be in your inbox or coming soon that gives you all of the social handles that we now have. We're to be across like everything from LinkedIn to Twitter, X, right? To Facebook even, of course. So if you want those links, definitely keep an eye out for the email. And if you have any questions there, let us know. And I'm actually really excited because I am looking forward to hosting a LinkedIn Live actually for this, really more so like just taking a look into how this is going to be different, how we can really help the community. So we'll have more information on that as time goes on, probably in the next couple of weeks. So, and I think we actually might have a giveaway within that call as well on LinkedIn Live. So if you want to be part of that, obviously follow us on LinkedIn, but we'll give you more information as time goes on. But Darby, I'll let you have the floor. I know you're
no, I think we're pretty. I think it's at Gen AI University on all social. There might be a dash in between
LinkedIn
on LinkedIn, but yeah, X/Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Meta, the whole suite. That's where we're going to be putting all the content out there, and expect just again that we're rebranding, we're restarting fresh on these socials, and so it might look a little empty today, but that's where the content is going to live moving forward. To answer a few additional questions here, how does this change the mastermind calls that I'm on and I host? Those are going to remain the same, and so we do like monthly calls inside of the community right now. We've got those scheduled out to the end of the year. Those are going to remain the same, and for those of you that are a part of our inner circle mastermind that meets weekly, and that's a separate mastermind group, really separate from the community as a whole, but those are going to remain the same. And so, again, anyone here that is part of that group right now, you don't have to worry about anything changing necessarily for you in that group. Those calls are going to continue as is on a weekly basis, and our application only. So we don't have any way for enrollment's closed for that right now. Sure it's there. And in terms of one-on-one calls, say for 30 minutes with me, 30 minutes with Kelly, we'll be posting information about that inside of the community for whenever those calls can get scheduled out and booked. And we'll probably use something like a calendar link where you can book certain set amount of times and whatever financial investment on a per call basis those look like. If you're doing one-on-one, we'll figure that out off of this call. Again, that's going to be a secondary thing to the group calls and the coaching and like the monthly recurring trainings that you're going to be getting. That's all included with your membership at no additional cost. I see Susie found us a year and a half ago and grateful to be with us on this journey. We are grateful for you guys to be here. For those of you that have been with us since the beginning, you've seen the changes, the ups and downs of this roller coaster we call life. And especially in the Gen AI space, we're no strangers to change. And we appreciate you, every one of you, especially those that have been with us since the beginning and those of us that are joining us here now. And you're on your own journey with learning and implementing generative AI in your lives and business. We're excited to have the opportunity to deliver the content that you're giving us your time, your energy, and your trust that we're bringing content to you with your best interest in mind. So really appreciate you guys all. And I love seeing the familiar faces here and being with us along the way. And let me see, make sure we're not, because we got to sign off here in a second, guys. I got another call to get on after this. Yeah, if any other questions that we didn't answer here, or if you want to, reach out to us with anything specific one-on-one, if it is just a general question, hey@genaiuniversity.com. And you could find my email by Darby@genaiuniversity.com, Rachel@genaiuniversity.com, Kelly@genaiuniversity.com, genaiuniversity.com. Let's just say it for repetition, guys. The AI author is a thing of the past, but the past is what has helped shape us to move forward and progress in the future. So while we're grateful for all the experiences and everything that shaped us into what we are today, just know that there's so much more great things to come. And we're excited to have you with us here every step along the way. Everything, again, is going to pretty much stay the same inside of our circle community. Some naming, some nomenclature about, where to find specific trainings is going to change. But yeah, we're going to be at Gen AI University and all of our socials as well. So We'll be posting a lot more online and everywhere about that. And we'll see you guys on the other side, and hopefully inside of Gen AI University. So until next time, keep calm and AI on. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.